Climate change is reshaping our world, and there's arguably nowhere more affected than the Arctic. Hi, I'm Rebecca Brayton, and welcome to WatchMojo.com. And today we're speaking with journalist and author of The Big Thaw, Ed Struzik, about this problem. Could you just give us a brief background of what climate change actually is?
What it really is that the changes, the variability that you see over a long period of time, where things either get gradually colder or warmer. And right now we're into a warming phase where you can still have a cold winter, but say in a 20-year period you'll have 15 warm years as opposed to 5 cold ones.
What is the tipping point?
Well, the tipping point is one of those terms that's used to describe when winter can no longer keep up with the summer melt. So essentially, summer becomes the dominant force, and when summer becomes the dominant force, more ice melts than can be created in the wintertime. You get past that tipping point, and what happens is you get so much open water in the Arctic, and it's black, and it tracks heat, that in the end, Old Man Winter just fades away. It's never going to disappear, but it's just going to be a much weaker force.
Why is Arctic ice important?
A whole variety of Arctic animals are really tied to the sea ice, that they've adapted to this cold temperature for the longest period of time. And so if you don't really care about them, and I think most people do, the other way of looking at it is that the ice, that big, massive chunk of ice, is like an air conditioner. It basically moderates our climate. You know what it's like if the air conditioner breaks down. You can be awfully uncomfortable. Not only that, it can have an impact on agriculture and other kinds of economies.
So what other effects does the melting polar ice have on the world?
There's a lot of water locked up in ice, and once that ice melts, sea levels rise, and there's 104 million people living around the world that live within a meter of the coast. Within 50 to 100 years, a lot of those communities will have to move. 104 million people is a massive movement of people.
Now, I've heard you say that climate change is not the end of the world, but obviously that's what we keep hearing.
Humankind have solved a number of major problems in the past. Acid rain was a huge problem in the 1980s. The hole in the ozone was a problem in the 1990s. Back there in the 80s and the 90s, everybody said, you can't do anything about it. It's too big. If we invest in science, we change the way we do things, the way we live, the way we burn fossil fuels, the way we generate energy, I think that we can solve this problem. It's not going to happen overnight. It's maybe not going to happen in 10 years or maybe even 50 years, but I think that we can change things. It's within our control. We're not stupid people.
Thanks very much for telling us about climate change.
Thanks for inviting me.